What welding rod do I recommend welding sucker rod with when it comes to pipe fence? I'm gonna let you know my recommendation, and I'm gonna let you know why that's my recommendation. But first, I wanted to thank all of you who have invested in yourself by purchasing the pipe fence course. We hope you get lots of value out of it. If you have any questions about the course, how to navigate it, the payment plans, etc., you can email me or Kayla at industrialtradition@gmail.com, or you can text us at 405-643-7176, and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. We just wrapped up the short summertime enrollment this last Monday. If you missed it, that's okay. Just go to arosswelding.school, punch in your email, and that will put you on the wait list. This way you get an email next time we open enrollment. Also, if you're new around here, check out our website, arosswelding.com, where you can find a few welding tools as well as some pretty cool tees. If you don't see anything that intrigues you over there on the store just yet, stay tuned, because I have been thinking a lot about spicing up the merch, if you will, or thinking about different hat designs and stuff, kind of catered to rig welding, because that's what I'm most passionate about. So hat designs, shirt designs, but probably focus on hats this holiday season. But I just wanted to let you know that we do have plans to freshen up the store as far as the merch goes. We're also steadily keeping our eyes out for different tools and different things that make sense for mobile rig welders to add to our online store. To get notifications about anything we do around here, make sure and get on our email list at arosswelding.com. I've been in the shop so long working on this welding bed, I daggum forgot how to put my chop saw on my truck here. So I used to put it over here somewhere, but I couldn't remember what I did, so I had to come over here to my junk pile. And first of all, find my chop saw frame. Found it. Noticed there wasn't a 2-inch square tubing on it to slide in that deal, so I got to looking around some more, and found where I used to put it, which is right here. It's tacked to my headache rack situation, and that slides in the square tubing. You're probably wondering, what are you going to do today, Austin? Well, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, almost 100 degrees. Got done building my handrails for my grandparents. We can look at those here in a minute if you want. And I just was still feeling like I need to do something for some reason. And so I'm gonna run down to the farm, and that's my wife's family farm, a couple miles down the road from us. And there's always something to do there. And I hadn't been down there in a while to do anything, like a really long while. And so rather than starting on a project, I'm just gonna go visit and look around and see, kind of get a game plan. But I know myself well enough, and I know that I may feel like cutting something with a chop saw. T-post is what I have in mind, because there's a farm project. We'll get into it later, and I'll show you whenever I go down there. But so that's what led me to looking for my chop saw situation. Farm status. It's a mess, but I don't know if I've told y'all about my little storage shed I threw together. That's 2 7/8 oil filled pipe, 3-inch permanent. When I was gearing up to build that welding bed, I thought to myself, man, I sure need some extra room to work around this bed. So I threw this together and threw a bunch of junk that was in my shop in here. So that's why this is here. fun. Oh yeah. Here are the handrails that we just finished up. All but one of them got a little slope to her because they go on a ramp. Video coming soon, so stay tuned. Okie dokie. This is what we found to piddle on. We gotta cut some sucker rod, and this water serves for that pen and this pen for these horses, so I gotta remove some sucker rod and just clean this up right here and attach some other sucker rod that's fallen down right here. And right above the sucker rod that we'll be working on is the T-post that I had in my mind. And I thought there was a couple missing. I think there's one missing over there because we're gonna end up putting electric fence around the top of this. There used to be an electric fence here, so we're gonna put it back. Farm work, baby. Love it. I actually really do. It's Saturday. It's just good vibes, you know? And my favorite part is welding off that welding truck. Love it. Absolutely love it. Got my bottles turned on. My oxygen lays down. My acetylene stands up. Some people commented and asked about bottles laying down and something about it being illegal or legal. Honestly don't know the law for Oklahoma. I know it's different and they're more strict in other states like California and New York, stuff like that. They're like more strict about it. But all over Texas and all over Oklahoma, a lot of us lay our oxygen bottle down. We don't lay the acetylene down. The rule of thumb for acetylene is you can haul it laying down as far as the chemical matter, not legal matter, but as far as the stuff inside. You can haul it laying down, but it's gotta be standing up for at least an hour, or for as long as you had it laid down or something, but at least a good hour. Now that's not factual or by the book or nothing. I just know that you gotta have it standing up for a good amount of time before you use it, is what I do know about the acetylene. Now I'm going to fire up this weld machine, stretch out my leads, torch, and get to hacking away. It's hotter than Hooter Potatoes. So the game plan is to tack both of these pieces up at and cut it off there, cut it off here.
So I'm using 332 7018. It's what I like to use on sucker rod, especially this old oil-filled sucker rod or whatever, this old kind of rusty stuff.
To answer the question why I recommend 7018 versus like 6010, 6013 or anything else, is simply because of the strength in 7018. Now, I don't know all the scientific fundamentals behind welding rods, but I do know that this gray rod, this 6010, is considered a cellulose rod, also very known for downhill, versus 7018, which is a low hydrogen rod, which is known for welding uphill, and it's known to be stronger. And I'm not saying you can't weld uphill with 6010, because you definitely can. In fact, there's procedures for it, just like there's procedures for downhill welding. In plants, they're notorious for running uphill beads with 6010. And so yeah, it definitely can be done. There's a guy around here where I'm from that primarily welds uphill on his fence with 6010. But it's just more well known for downhill welding. More well known in my world, from where I'm from my experience. That's all I can speak for. Which is what we weld a lot with on pipeline work. And 7018 is not properly supposed to be ran downhill. You can technically run it downhill, but it's not as strong, and to my knowledge, it's not designed to be welded downhill. So all that to say is, the reason I recommend 7018 over 6010 is because 6010 is more likely to crack and break off, which is what has happened to this sucker rod, versus if you weld it with 7018, top and bottom, it is way less likely to crack and break. It's going to hold for a lot longer.
Put a pass here, and then I'll put a pass on top, and then I'll probably weld the bottom too on something like this. Looks like they may have had some 6010 or something on here, just according to the flux, but I really can't know. But sometimes it'll hold, but if there's a lot of pressure on it, sometimes it don't hold as good. Looks like they use 7018 there, so it might be 7018 here, I don't know. Well, there's the proper way, and then there's the farm way. You might be asking, Austin, why is that weld so big? Well, that's because the weld that was on there before that was broken, for example, I did not grind off. I just tacked it back and then welded several passes over it, more or less to connect the post to the sucker rod over all the stuff that was there that was broken. So that is not the proper way, but that's one way.
And if you were wondering what my definition of the proper way to weld sucker rod, that is cutting off the old weld with a torch, grinder, whatever, cleaning everything up, and then either using 7018, putting a little pass in just to connect the two, or you could even use 6010 to connect the two, and then lay 7018 over that, because that is going to be a little bit easier. Sometimes 7018 is hard to weld in a really tight crack. So for those of you that are just getting started and maybe struggle with that, you can use 6010 or a cellulose rod to fill your gap and then run 7018 over it. Probably 6010, 7018, and then maybe two 7018s over that. That's the like proper welder in me to put that many passes. You could probably get away with just the 60-10 and then the 70-18 right over it. That'd probably hold for plenty long enough when it comes to fence. But that is the proper way. But sometimes I just love to not have to worry about the proper way to do things. That's one of the things I love about farm work and welding off my truck, is just that freedom just to make progress and not worry about the little details. I love that when it comes to pipeline work and where it matters, you know, when you're making x-ray welds on pipeline, that matters, and the goal is to make quality welds. And like, I love that, but there's a time and a place, you know. Pipe fence most generally isn't the place to be totally proper all the time. Although that does tend to be my go-to, because that's my habit. That's the way, you know, when I first started welding in welding school, I learned the proper way to make clean welds. And then I got into pipeline work and I learned the proper way to make clean welds. So that's the habit that I've created in my mind. But for those of you that are looking to build pipe fence for yourself, or even, you know, as a business, you know, you don't have to put as many passes as I made in some of my videos. I personally believe that I want my pipe fence to be sealed off, but you could have kind of an uglier one pass and be just enough for pipe fence. And that's actually going to benefit you when it comes to running a business or even doing stuff for yourself, versus what I'm used to, or the habit I've created through the kind of welding I've done in my welding career. Anyway, that's the reason I love some of these farm projects, because I get to let my hair down, I get to cut loose, I get to, you know what I mean, just weld. I don't have to worry about all that stuff, and sometimes that's just super refreshing. So anyway, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you are interested in the pipe fence course and you missed this last enrollment, make sure and go to arosswelding.school, punch in your email, and that will put you on the wait list. That way you get notified first whenever we open enrollment next. Hope you enjoyed this Saturday evening with me. Hope you learned a thing or two. Thanks for being here, and remember, learn something every day.